Hello there, and welcome to my craft room. This is Rhoda. I'm going to work on some frame wraps today. They are interactive. You can move them throughout your journals. We're working with some paper dolls, the portrait size. I wanted to use a few of these up. And I have another version besides this one that I'll show you later on that is completed, and I'm sure you'll like that one as well. This one is made with a embossing folder. Let me pull it up here where you can see it a little better. And as you can see, it's got that design on here. And the way I achieved that is I use the debossing side. There's an embossing side, which is the sunken in part on a embossing folder, and a debossing. So what I did is I took my sorry, I had to go over there and get it. It's a Versamark water mark stamp pad. And what you do is you just rub it, tap it on here, and then you're going to put it on your page like that. And you just stamp it all the way around. And you're going to get in here, and I used mostly a bronze copper type of uh, embossing powder. Is a mixture I've got. It's a Duke's mixture. But anyhow, that's how you do that, and then you heat emboss it. And I went in with the stamp pad after that, and I just kind of rubbed it like that. And that's how I got these big flat areas like that. I really wanted an antique-y look. This is supposed to look like one of those old photo frames. They call it like a, oh, it's a word for it, but they used to have them where you had the name of the photography studio down here on the bottom, and kind of like Olin Mills. I don't know if you have Olin Mills where you live, but that's what we have. Anyhow, this frame that I'm starting out with, it's 10 wide and 8 tall. And then to get my people to show really well, I had to do 1 1/4 border that I cut out on each side. So that's where I've gotten to with that part. And then this is the inside, and I'm using a little uh, 1/8 inch score tape to put around here, because what we're going to do is we need some kind of cheap packaging that is big enough to cover our window, and we're going to put that on there with score tape. Then you're going to need a couple of pulls to bring out your tags we're going to make. Then we do need a couple of pieces of, well, tea dye, coffee dye, just thinner type of paper you may have. And we have 2 backings. And these only have to be big enough to cover that hole. Be a little bit larger than that. Now our backs that are going on to the back of the frame is 8 tall and 4 7/8 wide. It's not 5 inches wide because I wanted to clear that fold line. And we need some washi tape, because I'm going to strengthen that fold, because if you use it a lot, it's really going to weaken it. So then we have our tags, and they're right here. The tag is 7. Right now it's 7 3/4 tall, and it's 4 inches wide. After I get this one done, I'm going to see if I really need it to be this tall. Because my other one, I had to cut it down. I had a fiasco. Oh, I had put the magnets inside, and I tried to hide them, and it was hindering the tag from going in. So I've worked out all the kinks, let me tell you. I hope everybody is doing well today. I am getting ready for Thanksgiving. I got to start cooking tomorrow. I'm going to do my applesauce cake tomorrow. And then I have a sweet potato casserole to make, and a green bean casserole, of course. You know, you always have to have that. I have a cornbread salad, or casserole. It's a casserole that I'm going to make. And look, I done cut that short. Let me find another one. Okay, I fixed that. I've got these ready to go. And I have my, as usual, my deviled eggs to make. I usually make those for all the different get-togethers. We're going to my husband's family up in Rockbridge County. That's where the big old natural bridge is seen and located. And I'm going to be making enough for two families because I'm going to split everything in half, take half of it to my mom and dad next door, and then the rest will be going up to Rockbridge. All right, let's get this on. And I hope this is a easy project for everybody. I believe it's pretty beginner basic, and anybody new to crafting and journaling and such would probably be able to handle this. You don't have to go into the detail of these covers like I do, but they're not that hard. It just takes a little practice. I even liked where it didn't look completely covered. I like that. It looked distressed, and that gave it a lot of age. Let me get this on and I'll kind of show you what I mean. And I'm trying to just center this as well as I can. There we go. So our windows are in. And see how I've missed a few spots, like here and there, and I like that. And then I did go back over it with some antique linen. That's where you're seeing a little bit of yellow in there. So I really like that. Really made it kind of, you know, like it's aged. Really aged. And you'll see where I did a little bit of smudging with the ink there. And that was because I didn't want to. I had to put a piece of paper in there. All right. Now I'm going to go in with my back, which again was 8 inches tall by 4 7/8 wide. And we're going to put our glue down. Let me know if you have to do any traveling for the holidays or any cooking. I'm going to start tomorrow with the cake because I know it can last a few days, and it'll probably only be better for setting, you know. That's the way applesauce cakes usually are. That all the spices and stuff you use in them, they kind of get a chance to permeate the cake. And now what we're wanting to do is match this up with the edge down here, the outside corner. All right, and rub our edges. Now I have gone around, if you don't like the ink, I have gone around with this alcohol marker, Spectrum Noir, and it's a brown. And I've gone and done the flat. It's got a flat edge on one and a, or should I say it's chiseled? I think that's what they call it, a chiseled edge. And I just went like that on the inside and outside to get rid of that white core. We definitely want to do that. Oh, gosh, I forgot about the... I'm always forgetting about this, this liner inside. Okay, so what we want to do is we're going to go and put on a piece of coffee dyed paper so you don't see this white. That's the whole idea. We want to cover up that white, and we're going to do it this way. Goodness. I did one trial run and I'm already forgetting things. Oh, I do want to ask, I've been using a green cutting board that it's for fabric and such. And anyhow, I don't know, I kept noticing that my lighting would go a little weird. And here I'm just going to use this to smooth this out with. But yeah, my lighting sometimes was going a little haywire. So I thought I would use this black construction paper on the back and see how that looks and works. And let me know if you like this better. I will start using it. All right, let me get this on here first before I go and try to reattach my piece. And this is a disappearing purple washable school glue glue stick. That is the best thing to put on anything like this that's thin. This is a thin copy paper, and this will hold that fine and dandy. All right. Oh, there was another step I forgot. Okay. I forgot about the washi tape. It is the middle of the night. My husband got up to go to work, and I thought, I'll just get up and do my video. So maybe I didn't get enough sleep. All right, there we go. That's done. We're going to go in here with some washi tape right on the top here. I'm not wanting to have anything catching right here with this sticking. I could trim it, but I don't think I could trim it down enough. And what we do is you have to give washi a little bit more gluing agent of some type. Oh, this is one of those. I'm going to go this way with it, and I'm going to go to the top of both of those with it. So let me do the middle here first. Ooh, this is one of those washies that you got to take the paper off of. There we go. I'll tell you what. First, I'm going to try to just go right down the center. If I had a fatter one, it might work better, but this will work. Okay, then you hold your thumb on it. That's just helping to get that on there. All right. I'm going to go down our center, and this is going to reinforce our poor little fold, which may see a bunch of action. All right. And then we're going to get some more for the top there, and a little bit more for the top on the other side. There we go. Now just get this off. Okay, so far so good. And actually, I didn't even need to smudge a little ink up there. If I just went up high enough, I covered up where you're going to see that, like that, and I covered up the edge there. So let's get in here and glue and get this baby together. It's just getting all of your items together and cut and prepped that takes the majority of your time. And to put this together doesn't take too long. Now the covers or the fronts were a little, time consuming. You don't have to worry about it. If you have a beautiful paper that speaks for itself, just use that. I think a pretty wood grain would be nice. That would be the right setting for an antique or vintage look. Okay, let's put this to the corner down here and measure it up to the rest of it. And down she goes. I'm not exactly sure what album journal I'm going to put this in. I do have plans to do another vintage one and another shabby chic. So more than likely it'll be in one of those. There we go. Playing Ring Around the Rosie. My poor edge is a little rough looking after I had to pull it back up. But, that's the name of the game. You would not believe the time I had putting that other one together. I'm not one to get headaches, but I almost got one. It was fighting me. Oh, I didn't think it wanted to be born. Okay, I'm liking the look of that. The other one, the washi I used in the middle wasn't that attractive, but that's a pretty washi here. Made sure I got one this time. All right. And while this is drying for me, we are going to work on our journal, our tags. Our tags. Okay, let that dry there. This one under here, I've already assembled, and I chose this beautiful paper that it looks like Michelangelo, was painting on the wall over there at the Sistine Chapel. I just love the cracks and such in it. It's a couple of pads I got from Michael's. This one's surfaces, and I can't remember which one came out of where, but of the two frames that I made, and this one's neutral textiles. But of the two frames that I've made, all of these have came out of one of those. So here, I've already went in with my big wedge that I cut out of my tag. I couldn't remember the word. Oh, it's going to be a good night. Okay. Then I'm going to go in here with this. Now, if it ends up, we're going to have to test drive our tags before we do anything else with them after we get them together. And see if they'll go all the way down in there. Now, the magnets are going to have to go on at the end. But I've got a solution on how to cover them so they're not that big of an eyesore. They'll be on the back the whole time, but if you plan on actually writing on the back, which you could, because this burlap would be fine to write with or write on. Okay. Get straight before I start pushing down. Yep, I think everybody's straight. Let's push. I'm going to have to do a little trimming, but that's okay. That's the name of the game. And I thought this was a really easy one to write on too, if you chose to write on your tag. So that needs to be trimmed here on the top. And this wedge. And I think I may have another side. Oh, right here. Now these fronts and backs, or I used this on all four of my people. On the one I'm going to show you next, and this one. So, and then I use this backing, this on the same four. So that was one whole page, 12 by 12 page. So you was able to use up all those pages. And I guess you call that scrap busters. I know Melina calls it a scrap buster. Oh, right. Now what we're going to do is test drive. We want to see how well, and I made a little notch up here. The other one I didn't make a notch. What we got going on here? Come on. I made a notch to make it easier, and it's still wanting to fight me. Okay, there. I'm not sure what I was getting hold of in there. And it almost goes all the way down, so we might not have to do too much to that at all. I do have whale tails here that I made that I wanted to put on the top, which I may trim off just a little bit just to get my whale tails on there. Now, if you don't, I don't have a whale tail punch, but I've gotten digitals before that gives you a whale tail. So what I did is I traced me a little template here, and I've kept it. And then I'll just, every time I want a whale tail, I'll just go ahead and sketch it out on the page, and I choose to do them off of, and there we go. Okay, our next step, I trimmed that little bit off. I put one of the whale tails on the top, and what did I do with the other one? I've lost it. There it is. Okay. Let's get our other wheel tail on, and then I'll show you how to position your people. Now, if you wanted to, and I should have done it, but I wasn't sure where the tags were going to reach, but you can actually, before you put the windows in, judge where you want your people through the window. I sort of did that on the other one, but it's not really necessary. I'll show you how I'm going to work it with these guys. So there we go. Now, as you can see, I got two little strips here. I've already went around the edges with this. I'll probably have to still do that last little piece with that, but I'm going to lay this here, and I know it's going down to there in my pocket. And I would like to put this strip right here. And what that's going to do is, if it's not exactly right, my person won't be floating in air, in other words. I'll have them grounded, which you always want to try to ground your people. Give them base. It looks more realistic. Okay, we're going to set this one up right here and pretend that's done. And this is the end I've done with the marker. All right. I'm just going to smear you some glue on there. And, well, there's my edge. There we go. Trying to match it up this other one. That's working. These were scraps I had left over, and looks like that one's a little wide in one spot, but that's okay. Now we're going to trim these off and get our people on there real quick, and then I can show you that other one. I'm really happy with the way the other one turned out. Now we want to take our marker, where's my chiseled edge, and we're going to get rid of that white core. Okay. Which end is white? Can't tell. All right, good enough. Now, our people goes on, and we have to do our magnets. I'm not going to worry about inking around, because you could go and ink from the back and rub it over your people, and it gets rid of that white edge, but my background is really light, so I am not thinking they're going to really stand out. The white is not going to be noticeable. So I'm not going to worry about that step. Okay. I think I want her on the more pinky one, and I'm going to center her. Is she centered? Well, since she's kind of looking that way, I think it doesn't matter if she's just slightly over here. That's one of the things I learned in photography. You want your person to look into the screen, where the majority of the empty space is. All right. I thought these two looked like they could have been a married couple. She doesn't look that happy, but he looks cheerful. I wonder where he finds all these crazy things. All right. We're still going to need my glue. I did round off the corner. Since I had a little trouble getting it in there before, I went with this smaller 7mm corner rounder. See, I don't know what was going on with it, but our magnets need to go on. And these are, I think you can get them on Amazon. I've gotten mine from May Made It, but you'll have positive and negative magnets in here. Ugh. And they are powerful little guys. So what you need to do is take your little sticker off. I do a few dabs of glue just for back up. And we're going to put that right there in that corner. We got to get another negative. Do the same. Oop. And we got to get our positives. Ooh, that one's jumping around. Boy, he latched onto that other side in a heartbeat. Okay, now what we got to do is take our sticker off, both of them. Ooh, there we go. And the adhesive is pretty good. I probably wouldn't even need this, but I want to back up and make sure it's not going to go nowhere. Okay, now we're going to do this. And our magnets are secure. Now I got to show you how to hide these really shiny magnets. All right, I got some of the paper that's exactly like the burlap look. I tried my it's a 1 inch and it's too big. And I don't have a 1, or I do have a 1, it didn't work. But I've got a 3/4 and that one is perfect. You see a little bit of the edge, but I'm happy with the way it looks. So let me get those out and I'm going to glue them to my surface. Okay, tell me if you can see that. It covered it up really nice. So now what we're going to do is put our people in here. And then I'm going to show you the other style I did. Put her in. And then put him in. And we'll do the big reveal. Might have to adjust where they are since I have a little bit of extra room. Oh, look. Now she might want to be, well, I guess you could actually move her around wherever you want him or her. You have a little give in there with my measurements. But how do you like that? Isn't that kind of cool? Now, the magnets are working great. The little bit of paper on there is wonderful. And here is the other one that I did. This one. I love cathedral windows. And I did some painstaking cutting because this is all I had to use, is that little piece right there. And I used a strip and it's repeatable. So you can keep going up and down. But this is how it's to be used. And see, the way I did this one was, see the washi? Well, I said I wasn't that happy. And see, I didn't do a cutout here either. But I thought this burlappy look went with it. And see, I have a little bit of trouble. I had to cut off my tags because of the magnet down here. But that's the way this one looked. Let me open it like that so you can see it. I thought they turned out so nice. And the way I got this gold is it's from Rub and Buff. And what you do is I just cut that out and then I laid it on a surface and just, it's a liquid. And you really want to have something to wipe your fingers off with afterward, because I'll tell you, it is, and it's a little stinky too. So that's what I'm starting with. And then what I'm going to do is rub a majority of it off, and then I just kind of go over it like that. And it puts that pretty gold. And I'm only going kind of through the center. And then you'll take a towel and give it a little time to dry, but this is the buffing part, but you buff it down so it's not got any hard edges or anything. But see, isn't that kind of pretty? It gives you a nice shine. Now, it smells like paint drying, to tell you the truth. It's pretty strong, so if somebody doesn't like the smells, that might not be the thing for you. But here is what our piece is going to work like. You put it in like that, and then it is repositionable. If you want it in a different spot in your journal, you can move it. We're going to put this one in on this side so you can see what that looks like. And the guy, look, the guys are on one side and the girls are on the other. Okay, well, if you would like to see more Tim Holtz people being used in one of my journals, here is a direct link. Check the description box for any of my dimensions that I scribbled down. And I hope everybody has a great day and have a great Thanksgiving if I don't get back with you. Goodbye.